This is the part of the build where I have just been dragging my feet on. Hi, Ben here, and this is part 3 of the build journal for Arctic Wind. And what I've got here is the front mechanism, the front part with the springs and the gears and the tubes for the Twinshock. And I am about to cut this into pieces. And if you're a mega lover, you might want to step away from the video for about a minute or two, because what's going to happen here is this thing is going to get rebarreled for rival rounds. At least that's the plan. Everything working out. A few months back, I had a Thunderbow that was broken, and I took and I did some testing on it. You'll probably recognize this thing. And I cut here at about, this is about 19, it should be about 20 millimeters coming out. And then took the center post out, and when you did that, I was able to shoot rival rounds, and I was able to shoot rival rounds pretty effectively. So this was a test case for what ultimately was going to end up into Arctic Wind. So what I'm going to do, and I've got these marked right about 20 millimeters, I'm going to take and I'm going to cut those off, come in and get the dart post out, and then that will prepare it for rival rounds. Now, and I'll see if I can get it in here. If you can kind of see down these barrels, you see the three little posts in there. It's a little bit difficult to see, but you can kind of see down in there. Those are the air restrictors, and that's what allows it to fire 2 rounds at a time instead of shooting everything out all at once. I've got to save those. Otherwise, it's going to be a 10-shot rival shotgun that'll just drop the darts like 3 feet in front of you and won't be worth anything. So I'm going to come in here and make this cut at about 20 millimeters. Then that'll be deep enough that will save those air restrictors, hollow out the center post, and then I'll be able to shoot the rival rounds. I got the front cut off, and I got the burrs all cleaned up, and you can kind of see on here. And so I took this and I put the whole thing back together, put it back in the blaster, screwed it all back in, took it out, loaded some rival rounds in the front of it, shot it, and the performance was pretty bad, actually. The rival rounds only went out about 25 feet. It was it's actually kind of disappointing. And so I've spent the last few days trying to figure out, all right, what am I going to do with this build? Because the design that I was originally intending with the rival rounds just being pressed in here and coming out, it's just not going to work. So I went through and I tested a lot of different combinations. I thought about, should I rebarrel it to elites and test that out? Should I just scrap this whole idea of converting it and go back to having it shoot mega rounds? Also, I looked at other configurations, or do I need more power behind it? And so what I decided on is that I needed more power. So I went back and I took my test rig, and I tried a couple things with that test rig that you can kind of see here. The first one is a piece of 3/4 inch PVC coupling, which actually fits rival rounds almost perfectly within inside that, and then cutting that down. I also tried the rebarreling, tried to get the performance on that, and I looked at getting my test rig to have quite a bit more performance. So I took the firing mechanism, the chamber, out of an Extreme Blazooka that I had, and adapted the front end of it here so that it would fit in. I could just use it as a test rig to test things out. And so that would give me kind of a simulation on what I could do performance-wise with that. So all that said, I'm still not 100% decided where this is going to go, but let me tell you where I think it's going to go. What I think I'm going to do is I am going to use this style coupling, the PVC, cut this back down farther here, and then put the PVC on this so the rival rounds seat, but they don't seat so tightly in there, and then use that. And because that's almost a perfect fit, I'll be able to build some air pressure as the round comes. Let me pull it out. Build some air pressure as the round comes out through here. The testing that I did with this gave me actually a lot better performance. I was getting rival rounds traveling 50, 60 feet coming out of there. So performs, it wasn't quite as good as say an Apollo out of the box. It wasn't quite going that, but again, this is going to be a shotgun mode. So it was decent enough to make me decide that, you know, that is a very definite possibility. The other thing I did here is I did a spring replacement on this, and this is a Century Springs. It's a 10,060. It's probably somewhere between a 10-12 kilogram spring, and I put that in there. I put two of them. They were a bear to get those things on, but I had to cut the ends, and I got them on there, and that in itself ramped up the performance significantly with the rival rounds, even with this design here in the front that I don't think is going to work. So the idea, the thought right now is higher powered springs plus PVC coupling on the front to try to capture some more of that huge air volume as it's coming out, and then give that a try. So anyways, this has been part 3 of the build journal for Arctic Wind. A lot of stuff I'm still working out on this blaster, but thanks for watching.